Start here if you are new to tarot. This will save you months. If you are feeling confused about tarot, overwhelmed by all the meanings, or like you are just not getting it, this video is for you. Because most people do not struggle with tarot because it is difficult. They struggle because no one explains what they are actually doing. And once you understand that, everything becomes much easier. In this video, I am going to explain what tarot really is, how people actually use it, and what you are actually learning when you start reading tarot. No fluff, no complicated language, just a clear starting point. And I want you to take this slowly. You do not need to understand everything instantly, just listen and let it make sense step by step. Because once this clicks, the rest of tarot becomes much easier to learn. Now let's start with the biggest confusion: what tarot is not. Tarot is not about predicting a fixed future. It is not about being gifted or having special abilities. And it is definitely not about memorizing 78 card meanings perfectly before you can start. And I want to pause here for a moment, because this is where most people get stuck without even realizing it. They think, I need to learn all the meanings first, or I need to feel intuitive before I can trust anything, or even, maybe I am just not good at this. If you have thought any of that, you are not alone. Almost everyone starts there. But the problem is not you, the problem is the way tarot is usually explained. So let's simplify it. Tarot is a tool. It is a system made of images, symbols, and patterns that helps you understand situations more clearly. You are not guessing, you are not trying to be psychic. You are observing and making sense of what you see, and that alone removes a lot of pressure. Now let's make that more real. When people first approach tarot, they usually ask, what will happen? Will this work out? Is this going to happen? But tarot works much better when you shift away from that. Instead of asking what will happen, you start exploring what is happening. What energy is present? What is influencing the situation? What direction things are moving in? And this small shift changes everything. Because now you are not waiting for an answer, you are understanding something. And understanding is something you can build. Now let's talk about the cards themselves. A tarot deck has 78 cards. And those 78 cards are divided into two main parts: the major arcana and the minor arcana. You do not need to memorize them right now. But understanding what they represent will immediately make things feel clearer. The major arcana has 22 cards. These represent bigger life themes and turning points. Things like change, decisions, growth, challenges, and direction. They usually show something that has weight, something that matters on a deeper level. So if these appear in a reading, it often suggests something important is happening, something that can shape the direction of a situation. The minor arcana has 56 cards. These represent everyday life, daily situations, emotions, actions, thoughts, and practical matters. So while the major arcana shows the bigger theme, the minor arcana shows what is happening within those themes, and this is what most of your readings will be made up of. Now, within the minor arcana, there are 4 suits: cups, swords, wands, and pentacles. Each suit represents a different area of life. The suit of cups is connected to emotions and relationships, feelings, connections, intuition, and how you experience situations internally. So when you see cups, you are usually looking at emotional energy. For example, if someone asks about a relationship and you see mostly cups, the situation is strongly emotional. It is about how people feel, not just what they do. If someone asks about work and cups appear, it might suggest they are not feeling fulfilled or emotionally connected to what they are doing. Now the suit of swords is connected to thoughts and communication, decisions, overthinking, clarity, conflict, and truth. So when you see swords, you are looking at the mind. For example, if a situation feels complicated and you see many swords, it might suggest overthinking or confusion. If someone asks about a conflict, swords can show how communication is happening, whether it is clear, direct, or difficult. Now the suit of wands is connected to action and energy, movement, motivation, effort and progress. So when you see wands, something is happening. For example, if someone asks about a plan and wands appear, it suggests action is needed. Things will not move without effort. If a situation feels stuck and there are no wands, it might mean there is not enough action. Now the suit of pentacles is connected to practical life. Work, money, stability, routine, and physical reality. These cards are grounded. For example, if someone asks about career or finances, pentacles show what is happening in a practical sense. If pentacles appear in a relationship reading, it might point to stability, long-term commitment, or shared responsibilities. Now let's make this a bit more real. I want you to imagine a simple situation. Someone asks about their job and whether they should stay or leave. Now imagine you pull a card from the Suit of Cups. Pause for a second. You already know this is emotional, so the situation is about how they feel in that job. Now imagine instead you pull a card from Swords. Now the focus shifts to thoughts, overthinking, or decision-making. Now imagine Wands. Now it becomes about action, movement, or needing to do something. Now imagine Pentacles. Now it becomes about stability, money, and practical reality. We did not use any card meanings, we just looked at the suit. And we already understood something. That is how tarot starts to make sense. Now let's come back to the most important part. Each card is an image, and every image tells a story. So instead of asking, "What does this card mean?" ask, "What is happening here?" If someone is walking away, you can see distance, change, or letting go. If someone is holding something tightly, you can see control, protection, or fear of losing something. You are not memorizing, you are observing. Now this is very important. Tarot is not about being right, it is about being clear. Your goal is not to get the perfect meaning. Your goal is to describe what you see, connect it to the question, and make sense of it. That is enough. And over time, that becomes accuracy. Now let's talk about why tarot feels confusing. Information overload, trying to memorize everything, and not knowing where to focus. All of this is normal, and all of it is fixable, because you are not learning everything. You are learning how to look. And we will build that step by step. So now let's simplify everything. You are learning 3 things: how to ask a clear question, how to observe a card, and how to connect the two. That is the foundation of tarot. Now I want you to shift your mindset. Instead of thinking, "I need to learn tarot," think, "I am learning how to understand what I see." That removes pressure and makes everything easier. Now before you go, take a moment. Think about how you have been approaching tarot. Have you been trying to memorize everything? Have you been doubting yourself? Just notice it, because now you have a different way to approach it. And in the next video, we are going to build on this. Because the next step is learning how to ask tarot questions that actually work. This is where everything starts to become clearer. Before you go, I'm curious. What has felt most confusing for you about tarot so far? You can share it in the comments. It actually helps other people who are in the same place. And if you found something that helped you understand tarot better, feel free to share that as well. And if you want to keep learning step by step, you can subscribe and follow along.